Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at JensArtyInclinations, a place to create, share, and play.
Hi everyone. I made these really cute little notebooks that I thought I'd share with you. I love making little notebooks. I think that they make such a nice addition and they slip so easily into a pocket. Anyhow, today I'm going to show you how I made them. So I just used some coffee dyed paper, very economical on paper usage, and I just kind of folded it lengthways into three, thirds. What do you call it? So, and once I'd done one, I then, managed to do each of the others quite easily. I'm not being exact in my measurements. Now, the size paper that I'm starting out with here is regular printer paper. So in Australia, that's A4 paper, which means, it's roughly 27 centimetres by 15 centimetres, 27 point something by 15 point something. But these are so cute. You could start them off with any page you like. So I'm simply tearing down the edges. I folded them both ways to make it easy just to hand tear, not even using my ruler, but you could use, what do we cut things with? You could use scissors, you could use a ruler to tear them with, you could use one of those, jagged rulers. You could get really creative and use some other method I haven't known of. You could use a guillotine, a trimmer, lots of ways we can mess up paper. Anyway, it's just those one pieces, and then I folded them over like that, to get my little pages. So I'm doing two lengths together, which makes 4 little pages. Although in the last one, I think somehow I lost a page, and so I ended up with only 3 in the last one. Look, it's all good. There's really no rhyme or reason. I just did 4 because it was enough to make it feel like a little notebook, but also enough that it was slim enough. Okay, so then I just had these papers. I just, folded them over in half, some little lengths, and then I trimmed them using the papers as a guide, the actual note pages. And then I'm using a little hole punch. What do you call it? It's not a hole punch, it's a circle punch. Oh dear. Maybe we shouldn't follow my directions today. I've got, a funny way of saying things today. Okay, so then I did a nice deep circle and I just used the scissors to trim it to make it straight at the top. So then simply inking around the edges, ink. And then I actually inked on the inside as well, just in case there was a little bit of show through. And as you can see, that fits so cutely on top of the page. So I simply stapled across, and I'm using the back of my dauber there just to press down the staples to make sure that they sit nice and flat. And then I did a hole punch. Now here's the hole punch, everyone. And on each side, I simply did some reinforcers. So they're just my $2 shop reinforcers that I colour up. And then I thought, look, they're lovely just like this. I quite like, a staple, a bit of rusticness to see where it came from. However, on these, it really just added a lovely bit of decoration to cover up the staples. So just a few strips of paper is all I did. I'm doing 2 strips of paper here, one for the front and one for the back. So I believe that was just, the offcut of a book page edge from something else that I've always got lots of mess and scraps around my desk. I try and organise them and it, never quite works out. But anyhow, and then I did a slightly slimmer piece of scrap paper edge to pop in the middle. And I think that just, it makes them look pretty cool. So I feel like these could be in a vintage journal. I mean, they could be part of something floral. They could also be part of a steampunk journal. And yeah, really happy with how these turned out. So I'll do another one with you, just with a slightly different decoration on top. But there you go. There's my first little two. So now just popping across the back of the staples. And look, as I said, no need to cover up your staples. It's all personal preference. But the nice thing about this is it gives the top a little bit more structure. And it also means that they're nice and smooth when you're popping them into pockets, so less likely to catch on anything. But how quick is that to put them together? I was so happy. So here you are. Here's the next one. So I'll just show you again. Just using the actual papers that are going to be part of the notepad as the guide to cut the edge there on the top. Here I'm only doing 3 pages because, as I said, I worked out on I lost a page somehow. I don't know where it went, but anyway, because I did sick. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It works beautifully with 3 pages as well. So here we are. I'm just doing the next one. And again, I'm going to trim that off just using the paper as my guide. So that's like my size guide, just using scissors. Then I just simply kind of fold it in half. I don't make it a deep fold. I just make it so that the edges meet. And then across the folded edge is where I'm hole punching the circle. So there we are. There's the circle out, and I'll do the next one too. So I'm just making sure that those edges meet, and I'm punching on the folded edge. So there we go. There's the circle. And now I'll just trim with my scissors. Just trim the little extra bit, because it just was better when I just went a little bit deeper. So I made sure that the bottom sat on the middle, but the top I just let it sit a little bit deeper. So there we are. Now I simply staple them across the top, and as I say, at that point you could decide you're done. Or done, as my boy says. It's one of the few things he says. We have this little ritual where we go finished with the finished Auslan sign. I'm doing that in front of you, but you can't see me do that. And then we go, all done, all gone, gone. So obviously it was something I must have said a lot when he was little or something, and it's always stuck. So yeah, pretty cute, pretty funny. Sometimes we have to just come out into the lounge room and stand in the middle of a lounge room and all do the actions with him, and he thinks it's hilarious. And of course it is, because he has complete power and control. I love kids. They're wonderful. Even though, you know, he's 15 now. But yeah, that's one of the few things he says, and I love it. All right, so for this one, again, as you can see, just doing a little piece of paper across the top, but I'm doing a slightly different decoration on this. You know, just to show you that you can get a bit more fancy schmancy too, if you want to. So I'm using my little art glitter glue, and I'm gluing across the actual, that bit there, you know, that top bit. You can see it. And I'm adding some lace, because of course who doesn't love a bit of lace? And this is one of those laces that has a slight polyester. It's not a cotton one, so I just find gluing it that way works quite well. And then I'm adding a little bit of fabric, a little bit of calico. I adore calico. I get it in those big rolls that you can get. Usually, you know, simple places like Lincraft and so forth do them. And I use it for everything. I used to use it actually as my muslin when I was, you know, making clothes for a little while. So there you are. Isn't it cute? So on one, I've got, you know, a little bit of a topper on the lace. And then on the other one, I just added some calico, but then I put a word and a little butterfly on it. So here are all my little notepads. I don't know, I just think they're so cute. So I hope you'll have a go at doing some yourself. These are just so quick, so simple. You'll probably find, like me, that you start out to make one, and you end up with a whole bunch. So there you are, all done. Take care, everyone. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy!